athletes, but mainly children athletes, in particular.
Talking from like school athletes,
just
in
kids
general,
athletes, yeah, just children,
yeah.
just children in general.
I mean, I think a lot of kids in after school programs or even before school program, what is it, like PAL? They got extracurricular activities.
They still have PAL?
Yeah, I believe so, right? Yeah. How old is you, boy?
I'm old.
Ancient.
I'm old.
He was born when Michael Jackson was still black.
I'm gonna take all you suckers in the backyard when this shit's over.
But like, imagine kids in PAL football, right? Kids in PAL. My brother Efren, shout out to Efren. He played PAL for many years with Jamel.
I played with him. Yeah.
And if he was taught, and I don't think he was. Growing up over time, I don't think he was. He might have been me not paying attention to it, but if every kid on the team, let's just say, was taught how to eat properly as athletes in PAL football, let's say, for example, wouldn't the team be a lot more improved, a lot much better?
Well, I think that's we all know the fuel that you put into your body has a direct correlation to how your body performs.
Right.
My issue is with the extreme dieting that it takes, or some people teach young athletes in order to what they feel is perform, in order to perform what they feel properly, or to give them the best advantage.
Or dieting as well.
Yeah, well, when I say extreme, I mean on both ends.
Yeah.
Because it's always been taught in football that, bigger is better.
Yeah.
And I remember being told as a young athlete growing up, always trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and put on weight. I remember coaches and some trainers telling me, yo, man, like, you got a nice physique and all that. If you focus on taking no more calories, eat your regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then if you add in, a real thick peanut butter jelly sandwich in between each meal, you're going to be
massive.
You'll put on weight real quick.
Yeah.
Now, that's fine, okay? While I'm still in high school, going to gym class, lifting weights, going to football practice and running and ripping for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then playing in the game on Saturday. The only time I'm really getting downtime is Sunday. No one ever teaches these young athletes, or even professional athletes, if you pay attention, how to eat healthy.
Right.
And they're always taught what's going to give them the advantage to be bigger, stronger, and faster. No one ever tells you, hey, when your playing days are over, you might not want to consume 7,000 calories.
Longevity is not going to pay off.
Okay? What you need to be successful as an NFL lineman or a college lineman or even a high school, a top level or decent high school offensive lineman or defensive lineman or linebacker, you're trying to pack on weight. No one ever tells you that, hey, listen, kid, if you decide to stop playing football after high school, you might want to cut back on some of this shit.
Right.
Or if you are successful enough and are a quality of enough player to participate at a higher level in college, hey, continue doing it. And they're going to teach you even more things once you get to college. But if you by chance either choose not to, or let's say college is just the end of the road for you, you might want to slow down on your caloric intake. Mm-hmm. Now, this goes, I'm, focusing primarily on football players, but even basketball players. If you notice, the vast majority of professional athletes that retire, they get fat after. Unless they make a conscious effort to just trim down. Charles Barkley got huge. Shaq got big for a little bit. Yeah. Even Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has made a concerted effort to lose weight in recent years. Mm-hmm. I remember, to my knowledge, and if anybody, has more accurate information, feel free to correct me. I remember Michael Jordan getting more chunky in years immediately following his retirement from the Washington Wizards the last time.
Yeah.
He lost a good portion of weight just before
he saw it in his face. Heavy.
He started
heavy. Yeah.
He lost a ton of weight just before he got inducted into the to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Remember that big baggy ass suit?
Yeah. So you could see in his face clearly that he had lost a lot of weight. Yeah. But think about it. You talking about arguably the greatest athlete of all time, simply because his activity level slowed down. But I'm quite sure exactly. But he was still probably eating the same way. Because how do you shut that off unless you make a concerted effort? So nobody ever teaches these athletes that, hey, yes, this is what's needed to be the badass on the field or on the court or in the boxing ring.
Right.
Talk about boxing ring. Remember how big Mike Tyson ass got when he finally retired?
Yeah, he was
huge.
He was close to 400 pounds.
Yo, yeah, I think 3. I think it was like 3. I don't think it was 4.
No,
Right?
it was close to
4.
4.
Yeah, yo, he was huge. He
was
man.
over 300.
And he's only like 5'10", 5'11". So, you know, that's a big thing. And you know, I personally believe that kids should perform in sports or take on tasks when it comes to athletics that are more suitable to what their natural body weight is.
That's the way
I think that would keep,
perform.
I think that would keep a lot of this to a minimum. Because yo, if a kid just ain't naturally big, then play a goddamn position where it don't naturally take that much size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to taking a kid that's, you know, he's kind of like a tweener, and it's like, yo, this kid puts on, I'm telling you how coaches think, if this kid puts on 15, 20 pounds, he'd be an awesome lineman.
Massive.
How about you just let him stay where he is and put him at a goddamn tight end?
Don't worry about the team.
Or put him as a wide receiver.
Him as an individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what we tell a lot of kids. And me and Danny come into contact with. We've trained a good portion of the kids over the years. Yo, I'm not trying to debate with your coach. I don't know him. I'm not there. But you are stuck with this body forever.
Right.
Your body physically only benefits him for the amount of time that you're on his team or he's coaching you.
Right.
But your ass is stuck with this body forever. Okay? And yo, on the opposite end, when you talk about a lot of these wrestlers or kids who box, where more weight control on the low end is introduced. You got kids running miles with plastic bags on.
Yeah.
Dehydrate.
I did it.
Yeah, you lose water weight. It's temporary. Because the minute you rehydrate,
a sip of water, you put on like 5-10 pounds.
Yeah.
Really?
Because your body just wants to suck everything up at that point. You got to control your sodium intake because salt is just like, think about it, when that old dumbass experiment when we were kids, when it's raining out, you see a slug, you pour salt on it. Salt sucks. It sucks up water. So the minute that you
foul shit.
Yeah, but but the minute you introduce sodium, the minute you introduce sodium to the body, any little bit of water getting sucked up, and your body's gonna hold on to it.
I remember boxing and I was walking around. Weight was like 170, 175. Walk around, yo. My fighting class was 152.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So there'd be times where I'd be like, Carter, be like, all right, Dan, we got to fight for you next month. Bet.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'll have to lose like 20 pounds.
I watched my trainer.
20
my
pounds
trainer
in
do
1
it. It
month.
was like,
yo, you know what it takes?
Yo, 5
to
pounds
lose.
a week, bro, and you weren't even huge. You ain't even have a lot of body weight. That shit was old.
So when can you tell? When can you guys, as professionals, tell with a person losing weight that wants to drop weight? When can you tell? What is the definitive sign that okay, their body has transitioned from this being water weight that they're losing now? This is actually, you know, like
weight that they're losing.
Is there a way to?
There's no such. That's one of the myths. There's no such thing because the body, even at the most lean, is 70% water.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anything you lose is going to be considered water weight.
Yeah.
Now, fat is more water than muscle is. Your organs are 70% water. You ever watch an autopsy? When they crack the skull open and pull that shit out, that shit look like a fucking milkshake. You ain't ever seen it?
Nope. Nope.
But yeah, so there's no such thing. The thing is that
I would have never performed at my highest peak performance in the ring if like at 152. I've never performed my highest peak of performance at 152. You know, feeling depleted in the ring is what I felt.
Yeah.
That's
no good.
Even if I was walking around 175 and fought maybe at 165, I felt a little better.
Yeah.
But going down from 175 to 152,
sucks.
yo, it's not good. And I think a lot of these kids, they don't understand. They listen to, like Jamel was saying, what their coaches feel like what they need them to be at.
Because you gotta remember,
performance.
like, you'll have and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'll preface my comments with that. But, you know, I remember I wrestled in junior high school, and then I think it was 9th grade. I didn't wrestle after that because to me it was defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
Because as soon as football ended, I was always trying to put on weight for the next football season. Now, what I found was, and I'll tell you, wrestling takes damn near more dedication than damn near any other sport that I've ever participated in or have watched.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, what a lot of coaches do is, you know, they may need somebody for a certain weight class.
Right.
Because like, I got a bunch of kids for these weight classes, nobody for this weight class, nobody for this weight class, nobody for this weight class. So if you get stuck as a tweener, it may benefit the team more, especially if you're talented, if you're, let's say, 175, which is usually like a weird weight in high school wrestling, because you'll normally have guys 160 and change, and lower is filled with kids.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's not a lot of people from like 170 up until 215. Because that's when you got all the big kids that's walking around looking like goddamn lumberjacks. So if you like 170 something, maybe 180, it's like, okay, you either wrestle in the big kids if you are physically prepared for that, and most aren't, or you got to suck down 20 pounds that you might not even have to lose.
And not even be at your best performance.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're not even the best version of yourself because you're naturally 175, 180 pounds with very little body fat. Yeah. So now you're killing yourself to get down to 161 because that's the weight class that may benefit the team the most. That's not worth it because like that shit kills your hormones. If Dave was here, he'd tell you about that. Yeah. You know, when your thyroid gets murdered when you run down.
That's dangerous.
But also, if the parents are not recognizing it either, it's also like the kids is gonna listen to what their coaches tell them.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna be like, all right, mom, dad, I'm gonna get down. No, they're not gonna say it. Parents need to recognize it. You know, because when I perform, I'm not gonna be like, all right, mom, I'm gonna go down to one. No, it's not healthy.
Well, the thing is, the problem is that most parents don't understand it. Think about this. If you're a first-generation athlete.
Most people don't understand. You're right.
If you're a first-generation athlete, like, let's just call it what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody in your family boxed before you?
No.
Okay. I come from a family of a lot of football players, but they were like cousins. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that were older than me that played. My dad participated in sports, but after he and my mom split, you know, he was still in the city, and we were out here. So my dad still had a lot of input, but he wasn't a, quote unquote expert on the human body. Right. He could look at me and be like, "Ah, yeah, you don't look too good," but that's just regular parenting shit. So you know what I'm saying? So like, if your kid is going through some shit that might not be the best for them from a health and wellness perspective, me and you are more quick to pick up on that than anybody else. One, because we participated in a shit ton of sports growing up, and two, we train now. So we can see, we know what a person look like at boot camp when heat exhaustion is about to set in.
We're active in their lifestyle.
Exactly.
So what is really happening when somebody is dehydrated? Because everybody's just drink a bunch of water, but
when they're dehydrated,
to be dehydrated,
damn, they're gonna die.
You get thirsty.
Listen, let's just call it what it is. The one thing that I get on a lot of kids about is that and there's not experiments, but there have been natural disasters that have proven this. Yeah. Okay. The human body can go, depending on your fat stores, all right? Because fat is the reserve tank for the body, whether people realize that or not. All right. You could go a month without fucking eating. Mm-hmm. You'll be close to death. You'll be in shock. Your ribs will be showing, but you can survive. You go more than 2-3 days without water, your ass is grass. That's a fact. Okay. There have been plane crashes in remote areas where people have survived in the mountains. No food, and they were drinking fucking runoff melting snow to survive. Wow. Because water kept them alive, and they hadn't eaten in 2 weeks or 7 days or whatever it was. Dang. The earthquake in Haiti, I remember reading. I think that was 10 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. Maybe a little more recent. I think they actually had a couple within the last decade, if my memory serves me correctly. There were reports of people being trapped in rubble in the bottom of buildings or in basements, whatever the case is. No food weren't rescued for several days, if not a couple weeks, and survived off of rainwater. Okay? But your ass gets stuck somewhere and get, God forbid, people have died in the middle of the desert. You know, trekking through Death Valley or, you know, in Nevada, wherever the hell it is, and not fucking making it simply because they had no water.
Wow.
Okay, that's how important. Water is the single most important molecule or nutrient, H2O. Okay,
feed what the body
is the most
wants.
important thing to the body. It is the absolute most important thing to the body.
If the body is made up of 70% of water,
It's simple.
yeah.
It's simple.
On the subject of the coaches and how what you were saying with body types and all that stuff and everything, what they look for. Kurt, shout out to Kurt Smith. Big Kurt was with us last week.
What's going on, Kurt?
Yeah, he said when I played football in college, there was an NFL strike. He said pro scouts from local teams would come into school to check out players they could use as scab players.
Mm-hmm.
And he said my head coach told me they asked about him for a spring game. He also told me that I needed to get bigger. And he said when I told him I was eating and working out as much as possible, he replied, you know what you got to do. And he said he winked at him and slapped him on the back. And he said he wanted him to use steroids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he did. He said he didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
That's a
it's
different level of
and that goes into
performance.
what you're saying with the parenting too. The parents got to be watching too.
Yeah,
and making
on
sure
top of it.
But that's tough though, because at the time, Kurt, another big shout out to Kurt for appearing last week. Kurt was playing football away from home. So he was in college at the time.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think Southern Connecticut University, I think he told me. So how do the parents supervise?
how do you
But at
supervise
that
it?
point, you're in
How do they
college.
supervise it?
You should be knowledgeable already.
No, he was. That's why he
Yeah, he
didn't
was.
do
That's why
it.
he
But
didn't
you
do
got
it.
some
Yeah,
people
that's why he did it.
some people get approached
Well, that's
and they
what I'm
think
saying.
this is my big shot.
Yeah.
You're right,
Yeah.
coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hurt themselves, kill themselves, mess themselves up. Yeah.
Crazy. No, but you covered it all. You pretty much covered it all. Parents got to be more aware and be more involved in kids. If they recognize that their kids' eyes is falling out black underneath their eyelids,
They cheeks sunken in.
sunken in.
They looking like a damn
Yeah,
praying
you gotta
mantis
be
at the
aware
dinner
that
table.
It might be
That's
dehydrated.
a problem.
Might be
You know what I'm saying?
dehydrated.
You know, people
Wait, I'm
people.
sorry. A praying mantis?
You ever seen praying mantis? Wide head and sunken face.
Big, yeah.
Oh
Google
my
that shit.
God.
Big ass
Google that
cheekbones.
shit. Yeah.
That is genius in its own way.
Wait a minute, hold up. What?
You went like way over there for that one. It's like, I have seen their heads how they come in. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
points
That's
at
how
the
it
chin,
is.
like,
Well,
yeah.
you know, people. I think sometimes, and I'll close this topic off with this so we could, move on to the last one, which is the most important of the three. Shut up, Jeff. I already know what you're gonna say. But people seem to forget that a great aesthetic look doesn't always equate to health.
That's what I was gonna ask you too.
Okay. You can look at, and this is a fact. Dave will discuss this the next time because he's brutally honest, as you guys already saw when he was on a few weeks back. Fitness models, bodybuilders, physique competitors, they are at their absolute least healthy when they set foot on stage.
How crazy?
They have so much shit going through their bodies, and their bodies are so depleted that they are at their most unhealthy.
They gotta put
Okay?
on this
There are
face, like-
people who have gone into shock after appearing on stage. There are people who have passed out on stage. I know people personally who have passed out prepping for shows.
Dang.
I felt like I was going to die prepping for shows. Like, you getting up, you doing cardio first thing in the morning with nothing in your system. You haven't drank, eaten, or done a goddamn thing all night. So,
But why? That's what I don't understand about that sport. Why is it okay for them to do it?
but that's the thing. To me, body. Even though you're not competing physically against someone else,
Hand to hand,
or basketball involved or football, that is the most extreme shit that you can ever deal with as far as pushing your body to the absolute limits. But that's in that aspect.
Right.
Okay, then we're talking about football. You're pushing your body to a limit in that aspect. Like they've done experiments with football players where it was on Sports Science several years ago when Ray Lewis was still playing. They lined him up against a door with pressure sensors on it,
Pull that mic closer to you.
with pressure sensors on it,
Yeah.
and compared the force he was able to exert 5 yards away, which is exactly how far he is off the ball when he lines up in a defensive formation, and compared his pressure per square inch against the goddamn battering ram that the SWAT team uses. He was like almost twice as powerful as the battering ram.
Right.
It was like 2,000 pounds of pressure his body was absorbing, and what he was exerting every single time now think about that. He exerted 2,000 pounds of pressure, almost 2,000 pounds, like 1,800 pounds or some crazy shit like that, which is equivalent to a car crash at 20, 25 miles an hour. That was with the door being stationary. That's not what he's absorbing with a 300-pound lineman coming at him at the same speed.
Right.
So now you basically got to double that, if not more.
Crazy.
So that's pushing the body in that aspect.
Yeah.
These young wrestlers push their bodies in another aspect.
Yeah.
You as a young boxer, so that's what I mean is what it takes for your body to perform properly is not always what is the healthiest.
Right.
And that's something that I think that needs to be stressed to young athletes, that okay, even if this is your end all do all and this is what you want to do now,
Right.
you must understand that God willing, you make it and you have the rest of your life to live, because no matter what sport you participate in, if you live a full life, your full life expectancy, if not longer, you're going to live more years not participating in that sport than you did participating.
Wow.
And nobody ever
that's
thinks
big.
about that shit.
Right.
So you have to prepare your body for that. You have to prepare your body for no longer playing, okay? Ray Lewis, he played 17, 18 years in the NFL. He still retired before he was 40.
Yeah.
He's still a young man.
Right. Of course.
You understand? Mike Tyson boxed until he was what? Mid-late 30s. If he lives to be 80, he's going to live more years not boxing than he did boxing.
Of course.
So these athletes think that, them participating and competing is the end all do all. No, one day you're going to be a dad. If you're not already, one day you're going to be a grandpa. And you're going to want to run around with your grandkids.
It's always the end to every
after
sport.
having 7, 8, 9 knee replacements or back surgery or neck surgery. So just be mindful of that. And I think that now a lot of athletes are starting to be mindful of that. You're seeing record numbers of NFL players retire earlier than what they were.
They're being mindful of it.
Yeah. What was that? What was the kid name? Damn.
Kid out of San Francisco.
Yep, the middle linebacker from San Francisco.
A lot of
he was the best middle linebacker in the league. And he only quits like 7 years. Said, yo, I'm done. I'm vested. Give my pension. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way you eat as well. I know not taking too much time to go to the next topic, but I think because everything is going green now. And then they say, well, go vegan and this and that.
Yeah, I don't agree with all that shit either.
And they say go.
That's all.
But I think that has a lot to do with your existence into the sport that you want to participate in.
Well, I mean,
if you want to have longevity time in the sport, then eating properly and sustaining that weight to do it properly, we have to be according to what you're eating and taking in your body.
Yeah, but once again, it's like what it takes to put your body in a position to perform is not what's the healthiest.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, this is what's great to be a football player. I need to keep 240, 250 pounds of mass on because I'm running in the 300-pound lineman. I need to be big and strong enough to get rid of them motherfuckers. I'm chasing quarterbacks. I'm chasing running backs. And I need this mass to sustain me over 16, 17-week NFL season. But guess what? The truth is, almost every single NFL player, because they're built differently than basketball players and other athletes,
of course.
they're all considered clinically obese.
To the most point.
For the most part. If you compare that's why when people see somebody like you, based upon your height and weight, Danny, you're a big fucking guy.
Yeah,
based upon my height and weight, I'm a big guy. People see us, or somebody like Dave, or whoever else, or a lot of guys that we go to the gym with, and it's an eye-popping thing, like, damn, look at the size of this motherfucker. Now, we look like we look, and compared to the average person, we're big guys. If you threw us in an NFL locker room, we one of the many.
We blame right now.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean is, what's good to participate in your sport does not necessarily mean that you are in the best position to be healthy. It's two totally different things. Yeah. Most NFL players have a lower life expectancy than the average human being walking around in America because they carry so much weight. Now that's not, we're not even talking about other shit like the concussion issue and all that. I'm just simply talking about the average guy walking around at 250 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, to that point, like as far as you were saying, like,
And that's whether that's whether that's fat or muscle.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
longevity is your body is not meant to carry a lot of mass, no matter what it consists of, for an extended amount of time. That's a fact.
yeah, because I be with you saying that how to you could do a sport, you could do whatever, and the discipline of like you said, the diet and everything, but to prepare yourself after that sport.
Yeah.
I was watching.
That's where it's most
I
critical.
was watching Get Up.
All the smart guys
And I
lose
see-
tons of weight after retirement.
Yeah, I was
All of
watching Get Up and looking at Damian Woody. He looks so lethargic and tired.
Mhm.
When he's on the show, and his eyes just look like droopy. And I'm looking at him, and I look at how much bigger than the rest of the dudes, even some of the other athletes that are on that used to play. And I'm looking, and you can almost see like Damian should drop some of that weight, or he's
Yo,
gonna
but
be in
look at
trouble.
the smart ones. Mark Schlereth,
Uh-huh.
who's on Fox Sports Net.
Yeah.
He's a constant guest on Undisputed. A lot of other shows.
Look
Mark,
at Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi had 2 massive heart attacks.
Yo,
I was like,
no, it was a stroke. He had a
I
stroke.
mean, stroke. I'm sorry.
But yo, Mark Schlereth played at 300 pounds, 300-something pounds.
Yeah.
Mark Schlereth 240 pounds now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Jeff Saturday, one of the most famous
Yeah.
linemen of all time. He played in front of Peyton Manning.
For the coach. Yeah.
Played at 300-something pounds.
Protected coach.
Jeff Saturday is 235 pounds right now.
Yeah.
Nate Newton, big ass,
Even 230s is a little big for.
not at 6'3".
Or
Yeah.
6'3", well, that's different.
Not at 6'3".
Yeah.
Nate Newton, big ass, one of the most famous linemen ever, also on that big ass Dallas line. Some consider it the best offensive line ever. In the mid '90s, when they won them 3 championships, Nate Newton graduated. I mean, he graduated. He retired. Yo, he ballooned up. I remember watching him on Inside Sports with Brian Gumbel on HBO.
Wow.
Yo, Nate Newton was damn near 400 pounds. He got.
That's a big.
Yo, right now Nate Newton is down, at least last I checked, like 210 pounds. Looks amazing.
So what do you
Looks
say?
amazing.
What do you say to people that keep the weight on, and because they bust down a salad every now and again, they like, nah, I'm good. I feel like I'm, you know what I'm saying? They
You
feel
lying
like
to yourself. Well, it's actually, before we even get to that, this actually ties in
To what? That was,
to this next controversial topic. I know we're doing
that was an amazing
if you,
segue.
If you don't have thick skin, just change the channel, turn the shit off now. Just turn it off.
Oh, Facebook just. No, I'm just kidding.
You stupid.